Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Delina and today I'm going to be sharing with you my experience moving from San Diego, California to Houston, Texas. What I noticed immediately upon moving here, and mind you I'm coming from a big city and I was used to driving to other big cities. I moved here and I realized how dangerous it is to drive on I-45 or in Houston in general. People on the road here are crazy. They don't give a shit. And to make it worse, do drive around with like a gun, sometimes a loaded gun. Driving on the road is very dangerous and things are very far apart. So in San Diego, you can get from East County to West County, essentially the dry ass mountain area. You can drive all the way to the beach in 30 minutes or less. Here, you can go from either east to west or north to south, and it will take you about 2 hours to get across the entire city. Everything is really spread out, and Houston is a very large city physically. I don't know how the numbers compare population-wise, but as far as geographical space, everything is very spread out. If you take the bus or trolley or train to school, to work, whatever, you need to consider that. That's enough about the driving. Now let's talk about vehicle registration. Vehicle registration is cheaper here. So back in California, I drive a Honda Accord. Back in California, registration would be at least around $280. Here in Texas, I'm paying about $70 for registration. Boyfriend drives a diesel truck, 2500 GMC Sierra. So if you have that type of vehicle, you know in California it is very expensive to register. It was well over $500, I think, for him to register his vehicle, and here he's paying $200 or less. And of course, gas is cheaper here, so I know gas in California is around 5 something, and here you'll get gas for around 3 something right now. When gas is cheap, you'll get gas for under $3. Whatever you don't pay in vehicle registration and gas, if you live in the city, you will end up paying all that shit in toll fees. So Houston has a bunch of toll roads, and if you live in like certain areas of the city, you kind of have to take the toll roads and there aren't other options, and you can spend in the upwards of $12 to $25 a day in tolls depending on how much you're driving around. And hardly anybody mentioned that before moving here. You just think, oh my god, cheap house, cheap gas, I'm gonna go. The food. So groceries can vary in price. They have a very common, very large and amazing grocery store here in Texas called HEB. It stands for Here Everything is Better. And my boyfriend and I consume lots of protein. We're actually carnivores Monday through Friday. So for those 5 days, we're consuming like 90% protein and very few carbs and vegetables. So just to give you an idea of what type of groceries we're getting, and a typical grocery week for us, I think we'll total around 180 to 200, and that's getting all sorts of protein and vegetables and everything that we want. Half of it being organic. You know, you can get it all at a pretty fair price at HEB. Also, a huge thing to mention here, if you're a carnivore or if you just like meat in general, beef tastes way better here. Ground beef, steak, you can get it for 10 times cheaper here. Yeah, you can get steak for cheap at Costco. HEB often has the same cuts, if not better cuts, for even cheaper. You go out to eat. We don't really go out to eat much, but we've noticed that when we do, say we want to have a Mexican night, a sushi night, for the whole dinner, you're probably spending a good $30 to $40 less than you would in San Diego. Somehow, the food prices are just a little bit better even when going out. So that was actually a pleasant surprise. Let's see. So we came from 75-degree weather, basically the same season all year round in San Diego, which apparently that's what you pay for. You're paying for the weather. I don't give a shit about that. I like the seasons, so I was very happy to move to Texas, where you have a cold-ass winter of sometimes weather being below freezing, below 30 degrees. We had like a week where the weather was like 17 degrees, and that was for 2 years in a row. Yeah, you have to deal with the potential of your pipes freezing, but if you take the necessary precautions, you'll be fine. But anyway, so the weather, it can get cold below freezing, and it can get really hot, like 103 for like 3 months in a row. And it's very humid, like Vietnam humid. Being Vietnamese and having been to Vietnam multiple times in my childhood, to me, the humidity has like a homey, comforting feel, and I can deal with it. But for others, it can be unbearable, especially if you work outside, if you're a construction worker or anything outside. The pay. Nobody mentioned, even though it's kind of general knowledge, nobody actually talks about how low the pay is here. So my boyfriend is a utility forester. Say he was getting around 25 bucks in San Diego. At this point, he would have been making probably 30 bucks. The same position here pays $18. From 25 to 18. Imagine that. And that's just one example. Okay, so outdoor recreation. Coming from California, you have the beach, you have the desert, you have the mountains, and the beautiful forest and lakes, mountain lakes. So many different things, so many different state parks and national parks, and they're all different. So much variety, all within, 8 hours driving distance. Here in Texas, it is very flat, especially in Houston, it is flat. You can get some slight mountains and change in elevation in Austin, where it has its own beauty. There are clear water streams and very cool water holes, but they get awfully crowded during the summer, and a lot of the cool areas, a lot of the cool geographical features are on private land. So about construction, doesn't matter if you're in the city or in the boonies, out in the rural areas like me, construction is going on everywhere in Houston because everyone's trying to move here and they're just trying to meet the demand. There's plenty of supply out here. They keep building. I moved into my house. Originally, it was surrounded by the forest, and now I can show you. They have ripped out the forest behind us, and they will be building 2 new houses there. Here's the forest. It used to be like this everywhere, and now gone. They have ripped out the forest there, and they will be building 2 new houses. Yep. I'm Vietnamese, and I was extremely happy to find that the largest Vietnamese buffet in the US is here in Houston, Kim Sung Buffet. The food is amazing. It eliminates the need for dim sum, eliminates the need to go to a Chinese restaurant or a Vietnamese restaurant because you have it all under one spot, and it's so fucking good. While beef is better, beef tastes way better here and fresher than it does in California, the seafood here really lacks. You've got like crawfish and red snapper out here, and it's not always good. Bird watchers, if you like birds, there are crazy birds. I don't even like birds. Birds are not cute to me, by the way, but they've got all sorts of colored birds and dragonflies out here. It's like a rainbow during the summer, and it's just really cool. You get bluebirds and red birds. All you see in San Diego are like pigeons and seagulls. So I thought that was pretty cool, even though I don't care for birds. I just remembered something critical. Living in San Diego, you have access to the best Mexican food in the world. Here, kiss it goodbye. Just because there's a large Latino presence here does not mean it's Mexican. Over here you get Tex-Mex. It's not authentic Mexican food, it is Tex-Mex. It is white people Mexican food. The dishes are different, the taste is different, the ingredients can be different. Oh, that's something that you need to know. We thought that we would be fine moving here. Oh, a bunch of Latinos, we can find Mexican food everywhere. No, that's not the case. You need to be ready to give that shit up. Alright, you guys, that concludes today's video. I hope somebody out there found this helpful. If you move to Texas, make sure you hit me up, comment down below, and maybe we can become friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!